I mean, yeah. Anytime he's on the same card while you have pay-per-view points.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
I owe him a cut. I owe him a cut.
You owe him a cut, dude.
Sean,
you might as well
got
sign
you.
him as your manager.
Sean, where's my wallet? I got to send you a... Where's my financial advisor? I'm going to make sure we send him out a check today.
50%.
Maybe like a quarter. We'll start at a quarter.
A quarter?
He does bring some value, but I just got to check the metrics and make sure he's actually the one doing all the legwork, you know?
What do you think? Can we get an official weekly scraps response to him?
Before we get to the weekly scratch response, shout out G Fuel. And right now, from August 11th to August 15th, we are doing a promo boost. Use my code ALJO, ALJO, and get yourself 30% off. This is Naruto, actually. So my anime fans out there, 30% off until the 15th. So go get you sums.
Amazing, brother.
Amazing, brother.
Anyway, so the weekly scraps official response. Sean said that he deserves half your pay-per-view because you get pay-per-view points since you're the champ and he doesn't, but he's on the same card as you and he thinks he's deserving of whatever because he's the biggest draw. What do you think about this?
I mean, the way he knocked out Cheeto Vera and the way he knocked out Pedro Munoz, I think is definitely holds a lot of water. I mean, he's definitely the guy, right? He's undefeated.
I'm not. This is for you to.
He's
criticize.
undefeated. He's never had a no contest. He's never. I don't know. I feel like we all owe him a piece of that bread, you know. So, Sean, like I said, I'm gonna contact my financial advisor. 25% of these pay-per-view sales are going towards you. I'm gonna talk to Dana. We're gonna chop it up. We're gonna make sure we get the metrics right though, and then we can figure out like how we're gonna make sure that you get paid.
Here's my question. What if Sean never becomes champion and he doesn't get pay-per-view? Like, is he gonna keep calling? Like, let's say he loses a title fight. Is he gonna keep saying he deserves half the pay-per-view points? You know?
I mean, but let's be honest. He does though. I think anyone on the pay-per-view card is on the pay-per-view card for a reason. They're not putting someone on the pay-per-view for shits and giggles. They're putting someone on there that they think can help move the needle in some type of way, even if it's not a tremendous amount. Tremendous.
Do you think he's really driving half the pay-per-view?
I don't know about all of that, but
because that's a lot, especially like that's a stacked ass card.
I mean, he wasn't on my last card.
No, and that one did pretty good, right?
I think so. I mean, the numbers definitely aren't like millions anymore, but I think that's also because I think a lot has changed with the model. Now they're dealing directly with ESPN, so there's no middleman with pay-per-view, which was Cablevision. And on top of that, I think they have more of a revenue share, so I think they actually take home more of the pie than they did before in the past with this ESPN deal. So I think they're just laughing all the way to the bank. And that's why I think it's not a big sweat if they don't have a Conor, because they're still having all these record-breaking numbers for all these events.
I actually think they're making the pay-per-view more expensive.
And that too, I forgot to say that.
That's making them go down. But I actually think they're slowly going to move away from that model. And I've heard Dana talk about this in interviews where he wants to like be able to broadcast to the whole world. Like his goal is to get the whole world to see the UFC fights. And they're starting to sign these broadcasting deals. And the U.S. is the only huge market where they're like selling pay-per-views. A lot of other countries, they just stream them. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I'm only saying this because I heard him say something like this, where his dream back in the day was one day there's going to be the technology to stream these across the whole world, and everyone's going to watch these. And so I just have a theory, because I think they can make more money overall. But if the whole world is watching rather than selling pay-per-views.
I don't know.
It's a theory.
I have no idea. I don't know what that looks like in terms of the numbers.
Well,
like what those deals will look like if they're broadcasting it. What do the numbers look like with those broadcast networks? That's the difference.
Know. But if you get the whole world watching something, I assume you can make more ad dollars than.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't do that type of shit, man. My job is to get in the cage, go punch somebody in the face, and hug their back ever so gently. Just free hugs, everybody. Free hugs.
Hold on to their back for dear life.
Yeah,
because you're not dangerous.
I'm not dangerous whatsoever. Yeah, that's actually the funniest thing. Oh yeah, and speaking of Sean, we have his little take that he heard So he put out a little piece. He heard that I get ragdolled by Marab all the time in the gym, and that's why I'm planning to go up to 145.
Apparently, he said this like a month ago though, and I just saw.
Was it a month ago?
It was when you were talking about going up to 145, and that whole thing like broke the internet.
I feel like the only way that could have ever been said, and I don't know if he's just trolling or not, is if someone from the gym actually said something to him.
But who would say that?
I don't
and
know.
What did they see? Because I don't.
Well,
Well,
not my gym in New York. I'm talking out here in Vegas.
Yeah.
Because if it was a month ago, I was out here in Vegas. So.
Well, here's what I think happened. You said I wouldn't fight Merab. I'm gonna go up to 145 maybe. Sean was probably talking to someone who doesn't like you, and they probably said that to him. Oh yeah, he's probably just getting ragdolled by Merab. He doesn't want the smoke.
Yeah, but he said no. I heard that he does get ragdolled.
Yeah, but
as if someone
when
actually
things-
seen something and then actually told him that.
I think someone who also heard it probably told him. Cause
I don't know.
Who's seen that? You guys are very competitive. No one's getting ragdolled.
Larry, no one. Unless they saw me in the beginning of training camp with him when I've been drinking the whole time. And
But even
I'll be
then,
the first to admit, that's why I don't spar with Marab until I have at least a week of training underneath my legs before I just jump in, because if I do that, it's just asking for bad things to happen.
Well, yeah, I mean,
But even then, like I defend myself pretty well, but I'm on my ass a lot of the time, which that's not fun for nobody. And he doesn't get any work that way, so I don't want to waste his time coming in when I'm out of shape. I could do that with some of the amateur guys and the younger pros who aren't as skilled. But a guy like him, it's a waste of time because he's not going to get anything out of it.
yeah, but even then, who's getting ragdolled?
I don't think either one of us gets ragdolled.
No. So who, like, that's never happened.
Yeah, so it's just funny. It's actually cute. I don't know if he's like trying to start like some type of internal beef, which is just funny because I just laugh, and I know Marab finds it funny too. So it is what it is, man. He can say
It's
whatever
funny
he wants.
because he would get ragdolled by both of you.
That is hilarious.
I think.
And I think that's what he's trying to avoid. He's like, man, I hope these guys take each other out so that I don't have to get ragdolled by either one of them. Or
Like,
even
imagine
Ricky Simone.
Sean fighting Merab. I don't even want to hate on Sean, but, like, I feel like they don't want to make that fight.
They don't.
Because that fight could have
Stylistically.
easily happened. Like, they're both kind of right there. I don't know.
He's literally getting the McGregor treatment on the way to a title shot. Like, this fight gives him the McGregor treatment in terms of stylistic matchups. He has not fought a single grappler
I mean, you can...
outside
yeah.
of Cheeto. And Cheeto is not really a grappler. He's a jiu-jitsu-based fighter who is willing to stand on the feet, and if the fight hits the ground, he's looking to throw up elbows and look for submissions.
Right. But that's
It's not a grappler.
not a wrestler.
Yeah. It's not like Conor McGregor fighting Chad Mendes, short notice. It's one of those things. It's like, here's the layup. I'm throwing it against the backboard. All you have to do is put it in the rim. That's all you have to do.
Well, and even if he loses to Peter Yan, it's like...
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
This guy don't lose
No one thinks... I don't think people really expect him to win.
Yeah.
But I could also see a way he does.
I think he can win too. I mean, Peter just walks people down. He's hittable. Sean has good footwork. He's hard to hit. But people also headhunt him where he's able to get his head out of the way. I think Jan is going to be a lot more calculated, and he's more of a veteran in the striking department where he's not going to go chasing him up top. So if he's missing swinging at my head, he's going to have a hard time swinging and missing at O'Malley's head. The smarter path to victory against a guy like O'Malley, chop down his fucking legs when he's trying to circle away and chop him to the body.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even kick that much. I would attack the body with hands. Because that, you can at least touch him. He's going to, if you pressure him, he's going to go straight backwards and he's going to hit the cage. His back will find the cage, and that is your opportunity, and you can't get juked out of your shoes and then get left on stupid, and then he pivots out back to the circle, and then he hits you as he pivots out. So you have to understand this attacking situation and the sequences that he typically finds himself in, and the people who actually been able to touch him a few times see where they have success. And that's where you got to kind of have that mindset. You look at the Pedro Munoz fight. Pedro was winning the fight. O'Malley started to pull away in the second round, landing a little bit more strikes with the hands. That's a fact. But you look at the success that he had cutting him off, and Pedro's a much smaller guy with a very, very short reach. His reach is like 66. My reach is 71. I'm 5'7". Pedro's 5'6", but his arms are really, really like short. O'Malley, I think, is 72. You know? So, and he's also 5'10" or 5'11". So you gotta pick a guy like that off, and you gotta have the right training partners, the right sparring. And I think Jan is smart enough to do that. I really do. I give the guy a lot of credit in terms of like his fight IQ and understanding how to make adjustments in the middle of a fight. I just think he has a little bit of trouble fighting guys that have good footwork. Those are the guys that's going to give him the most trouble. Myself, Dillashaw, O'Malley.
Yeah.
But if he fights a guy like Cheeto, who stands right in front, he fights a guy like Rafa, who stands right in front, he's going to have success with guys like that. Jose Aldo, guys who stand right in front of him, gives him exactly what he wants, an opportunity to figure out where you're coming from, and then he could ping those shots in.
So there's the other thing is like Sean has a ton of range on him.
72-inch reach.
Yeah. But I heard Chael say this, and I want to ask you what you think. Chael says like the guys who have the reach, like when someone gets close to them, or like if they get backed against the fence, they can't really land as effectively because they're so long. They need kind of a distance to have maximum power. Is that true?
That's 100% true. The smaller guy who could get on the inside of a taller, rangier guy is always going to have more success when he could get inside. And that's why I think having O'Malley find his back against the cage is going to be your key to success against a guy like that. Because if you let him sit on the outside and pick you apart, good luck, because the guy's good. That's one thing I could say. He can pick his shots. He's good. We just don't know how tough he is. So he can sit there and beat a hammer all day long, but the moment things start to get tough, then he has to show us who he really is. And I think that's what we're going to see with this one in Abu Dhabi. So I'm excited for that fight as well as I am for my own fight. You know, because I got a kind of a guy who will stand in front, but at the same time, he switched stances a lot. So it's going to be a little bit of a mix of both. So I got to make real adjustments versus like when I prepared for Jan, I just know this guy's just going to come forward the entire time. And then if I did go forward, he was just going to go backwards and just have his hands up, covering his face. So you have to know what you're dealing with. You have to know how to be honest with your assessment and give the proper credit where it's due and see where guys are really deficient, where they're really successful, and see how you can capitalize with your own skill set. And I think Jan has the tools to win, and I think O'Malley has the tools to win, and I think this is going to be a fun fight no matter what. And with that being said, I got to make sure that I send O'Malley his pay-per-view cut, and with that being said, also I got Jan in 3.
Jan in 3. Okay.